Everyone knows that in the United States, church and state are separate. The government can't establish a religion. But what does that really mean?
Yeah, maybe it means that the church and state should be separate due to the authoritative means. Or should I say, sectarian means. Yeah, you guys, we have a religious freak who thinks that the establishment clause should not exist. Yeah, this is going to be a good video, so you guys may want to share it on Facebook and Twitter. I meant to say. It's you and So yeah, guys, we have a First Amendment video to go through here, and this is the channel that is putting it out. Yeah, I wasn't kidding when they said they didn't believe in the First Amendment. They literally do not understand a goddamn thing about the First Amendment. And that is going to be evident when you guys see this video.
Before America's independence, the government did plenty of things to establish religion, like force people to go to church, pay the salary of ministers, and limit the right to vote to church members.
I don't mean to say it wrong here, but these people do not have any knowledge of U.S. history, and that is sad. Very sad, because a lot of people in the United States don't have, any knowledge of U.S. history, and I hate saying it, especially of U.S. law and all that sort of stuff. They just don't know what the hell they're talking about, and these people are one of them.
But after independence, all of that came to an end. The First Amendment's Establishment Clause said that the government couldn't establish religion anymore. It couldn't force people to go to church, and it couldn't stop people from going to church either. Americans were free to worship God or not. That's how the Establishment Clause was understood for almost 200 years.
It hasn't changed very much in the time because it's become a little bit more defined by the limit test. But they're not going to agree with the limit test. They're going to stand against it. Why? Oh, religion, that's why. Fucking A, come on.
But in 1971, an odd Supreme Court case abandoned this history and made up a new test for interpreting the Establishment Clause. It's called the Lemon Test.
No, it didn't. It reaffirmed the Establishment Clause to the First Amendment. The 3 prongs of the Lemon Test are, number 1, the actions of the United States government must be secular by definition. Number 2, the actions of the United States government must not have a negative effect on religious belief. Number 3, the actions of the United States government must not be entangled with religion or religion with the United States government. See, this is what I get at, because a lot of people out here, and this is what I've heard from when I was religious, it's all about the free exercise clause of the First Amendment. It has nothing to do with the Establishment Clause. They do not attribute themselves to the Establishment Clause because they don't like the Establishment Clause, because they know that the Establishment Clause means that, well, religion can't entangle itself with the state, meaning religion can't tell the state what to do, and the state, well, this is the thing that they don't understand. The state can't tell the religion what to do when there's no entanglement. But when there is entanglement, the state can tell the religion what to do, and that's the thing that they don't understand, and that's what's happening in, like, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, is that the state is telling the religion, you must marry gay people, even though the religion doesn't believe in it. And in Saudi Arabia, the state is being told by the religion what to do, that you must have Sharia law. So people have to understand, the free exercise clause does not exist without the Establishment Clause. Period. It's in the discussion. Period. Point blank. You do not have free exercise to believe whatever you want to believe without, without the establishment clause of the First Amendment. Take, for instance, if the United States government were to legislate secular origins class for the history of religions, because of the actions of the government cannot have an effect on religious beliefs of the children in the class from a sectarian perspective, it must be taught from a non-sectarian perspective. See, that's the other thing. See, secular origins class is just teaching the secular origins of religion, but it's teaching kids to critically think about religion, not any of this other bullshit that, of course, religious people would want. So it's something that a lot of religious people would hate, and outright hate for bad reasons. But anyways, this is kind of going on the throttle of when my NFL team has a bad defensive play, and I sit back and I say, yeah, that's a bad defensive play, but the other play from the other team was a bad offensive play. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going at it, though.
The problem is the Lemon Test is a vague standard that ignores history and invites some really crazy lawsuits. Like lawsuits forcing governments to knock down memorials to fallen soldiers and police officers, and banning school choirs from singing traditional Christmas carols.
No, the test does not do anything that you said. For the statute's part, I will state this. The judicial branch in the past has ruled that statutes that are being presented by the state that do not represent the people or the state itself, the state has the right to take them down. Remember what happened in 2014 when the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the city of New Orleans had the right to take down Confederate statues because they did not represent the government or the people of the government. Now, let me say this. The government does have the right to take down statues that do not represent the people of the government or the government itself. And they should, because things have to represent the time. And if they don't, then they're not, they have to represent the time and our morality. And if they don't, then they don't belong where they are. Period. And the state has the authority to take this down. This just seems to be nothing but a big non sequitur. As far as religious choirs and the praying in schools and the other sort of stuff, if teachers or school affiliates or somebody from the Board of Educations or something like that is not involved in this sort of incidents, then it's okay for them to do what they want, to pray in schools, to have a choir that's for religious things, as long as it's not teacher led or led by a figure of the school. It has to be led by a student.
And requiring a nativity or menorah to be balanced by something non-religious, like elves or reindeer. These lawsuits are not just silly, they erode our culture. The nation's founders had no problem with religious symbols in the public square. Why? Because the government isn't telling anyone who to worship or how to worship. It is simply recognizing that religion is a normal part of human culture, and it's letting people express themselves in the public square. That is something that benefits us all. Justice Scalia famously said that the Lemon Test is like a zombie in a late-night horror movie that haunts our public square and makes us afraid of religious symbols. It's time to bury that monster for good and let judges get back to what really works. An establishment clause that doesn't try to scrub every trace of religion from the public square, but instead guarantees everyone's freedom to worship, or not, as they see fit.
This is why I stand against these people. This whole entire video has been nothing but a big dog whistle to the removal of the establishment clause of the First Amendment without realizing the dangers of what will happen, of course, with religion and state being entangled. They don't realize what I stated before, that if you have state and religious entanglement, then you don't have free exercise. Period. And this is why I sit back and say that it's sad that people do not understand the whole idea behind the First Amendment. Period. And it just kind of throttles me that they are like this. Well, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. All those links are in the description down below. Thank you.